So let's talk about what Masquerade Mix-Up is all about.
So, in short, Masquerade Mix-Up is about confidence. Uh, it's a modern day adaptation of the Cinderella story, which, of course, we all know is a rags to riches type story. But in this one, our main character, Ashton, is a junior editor at a publishing company who is very good at what she does, and is kind of bullied by her coworkers and things, as you'd expect in a Cinderella adaptation. But really, what she's lacking isn't so much the ability to go places or do things, but rather the confidence to go out on her own and do that, and the confidence to spend time to find love and things like that. And we also have our male lead character, our Prince Charming character, who is the hotshot brand new author that's just come on board with the publishing company, and he kind of suffers from the same problem. He's a new author, and even though his first book was a major success, with his second book, he just kind of lacks the confidence in himself as an author to really go and get it done, and he just feels like he needs all this help that he really doesn't.
Mhm. Now, I've noticed that this is kind of falling into the same genre as the last few of your films here too. Like we've seen Love and Focus last year, and
Yes.
then there was also Bookworm and the Beast that came out before that. How much? Why? What is drawing you to this specific genre?
Uh, well, there are a few things. One, I enjoy those type of movies. I happen to like kind of that Hallmarkish, Lifetime-ish romance movie. Uh, my parents enjoy those as well, and it's always nice to make things that my mother likes. But a lot of it is also the business end of it. I have contacts that are looking for those type of films, and I know how to make them. Do we want to do other stuff? I'm guessing that's the next question you want answered. The answer is yes, but I don't think we'll ever really get away from romance completely either. And we're not looking to.
Well, the nice thing is Utah lends itself really well to this genre.
It does.
We have some cast members that are very familiar to those who are watching Hallmark movies or Great American Family movies, as it is. Like Charla, for example, she's been in several, if not all, of your films. So
Two out of the three.
two out of the three, right? And then we're just seeing a lot of the same outstanding local talent. Talk to me about why is it that you choose, other than from a financially perspective reason, why do you choose to cast locally?
Some of the best advice I ever heard in this industry was pick your projects based off of who's gonna be involved, who you're gonna work with, and whether or not you like them. Because you never know what's gonna happen with a film. You just you just don't. Like, you may think it's gonna be the next Oscar-winning movie, and it can completely bomb. And you may think it's a terrible movie, but for some reason, it's just gonna resonate with everybody. And and you can't predict that. Like, we have ideas, but it's very hard to do. And so that's been the approach that we have always tried to take. We like to make movies with our friends, and most of our friends are local, for one. But two, there is a great talent pool here in Utah. Every time I turn around, I'm meeting a new actor or filmmaker that is both talented and available here, ready to make movies, and so much fun to work with. You bring up Charla. Charla's been in our past two movies because we enjoy working with her. This in Masquerade Mix-Up, the character of Jenny that Charla plays was not really originally written to kind of match her, and her personality. And we got into the casting phase, and we just said, when you're trouble. So we changed the character,
Hmm.
because she's so much fun to work with.
She absolutely is. One of the interesting things about this genre, again, and especially in Utah, and really the whole economic model of filmmaking right now keeps evolving. One of them is you have to do more with less.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of those challenges about trying to make a movie that's more with less.
When you make money off of a movie, it takes a long time. Um, it always seems like, oh, you put out this movie and 6 months later you're rich. That's just not how it works, and you have to pay back investors and all of this other financial craziness that revolves around the business of filmmaking. And not only are we doing more with less, but a lot of that is because we didn't get back what we put in originally. Like, it takes time. Yeah, we're on movie number 3 for our company. Well, those first 2 movies will make their money back and will do very well, but we don't have that money yet. And so every time I go into a movie, it's harder and harder to raise the money, especially post-COVID, as you can imagine, and it seems like our budgets just get smaller and smaller as we go along, and we're expected to get bigger and bigger with our movies. And you have inflation and all of that, and so it is very much a doing more with less. How do we do that? Well, number one, I like to talk about efficiency. How efficient are you with your money and your movies? And I don't necessarily mean moving quickly and that type of efficiency, but rather how far are you stretching your dollar? What's coming up on screen because of that? And also the efficiency of knowing where things should fit in. One of the mistakes we made with one of our earlier movies was we had this big hospital scene in a romance movie, and it cost us a fair amount to film there. And it turned out great, don't get me wrong, but it's a romance movie. Nobody wants to be in a hospital for a romance movie. And that was our most expensive location. Uh, why would I do that?
Right.
And so it's about that. One of the things you'll notice with Masquerade Mix-Up is the most expensive scene in terms of location and things like that is the ballroom scene. Well, that's what everybody wants to see in a romance movie, and so that's being more efficient with the money, and that's really how you do more with less is by making smart decisions about what's going to appear on the screen and how much it's going to cost you. And the more you do this, the better you get at.
Yeah, I love how you put that. It's like what ends up on the screen because what your main assets are on your poster, your trailer, and your even your thumbnail, everything, all the marketing is that ballroom scene, right? And from the masquerade ball itself, from the costumes to the props to everything, that's what's on the poster. That is the selling point. So that makes all the sense in the world.
Yes, and I wish we could take 100% of the credit for that. We had originally come up with a good piece of cover art that also highlighted the ballroom scene, and then we sent it off to our distributor who picked it up, and they just came by and they're like, "So do you mind if we redo a couple of things?"
I think that's every distributor in the history of ever. Has always come back to do
They're
that.
like, "Sure, why not?" And then they sent us that cover art, and we're like, "Okay, well, yeah, all right, they know what they're doing."
He's like, no,
Yeah.
this is very good.
We're very happy with who we partnered up with on that and what they were able to produce. But yeah, it is exactly as you say. It's all that ballroom.
So talk to me about an interesting experience that's happened on set, because again, everyone just imagines the end result, right? You go to the premiere, you get to dress up, you get to be all hooty tooty, roity toity on it. I don't think those are real words, but I just added it just because why not? It sounds good to me. Yeah. So what were some of those interesting moments that happened on set for those who have yet to be on set?
Um, I mean, every day is an interesting moment on set. Part of the challenge of being a filmmaker is, especially as a producer or a director, you're juggling 3,000 things, and it's a matter of keeping them all up in the air. And so every day you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, we've had disasters on every film set that we've been able to work through, but on this one, when we moved to the office location, day one, so in addition to being the producer, I was also the DIT and the sound mixer and a bunch of other stuff on this film because again, more for less.
Many hats.
Yeah, and we show up on set, and I find out that I was completely missing um, both XLR cables, um, which I generally don't need because I usually use wireless, and I was missing, I think it was the batteries for all my wireless, or no, excuse me, it was my wireless. Period. Just was my wireless. I left the entire case of my wireless transmitters sitting on my desk at home, half an hour away from set, and I didn't have an XLR cable with me because I'd skinnied everything down because I bring DIT equipment and sound equipment and all of this stuff. So I only brought what I absolutely needed. And so day one starts out and we're getting ready to film and we're about 15 minutes out and I'm telling Brandon, our director, and my boom op, Sut Taylor, wonderful guy, did an amazing job. I'm just like, all right, here's everything. I'll be back in like 45 minutes. see ya. And I'd boogie back down to Provo to pick up my wireless transmitters and come back, and it turns out they found an XLR cable at the office space because we filmed it BW Productions. Oh, so yeah, super helpful with that location. Joy to work with. And so they happened to have one there, and they were trying to figure out how to hook it into my mixer, which of course nobody knew because my mixer's weird. I use a Zaxcom. And so I roll in after we're, 20 minutes late getting started and finally get everything up and running. And, it all worked out and we made our day and it was fine. But it was just one of those disaster things where you start out the day and you're like, don't know what's going to happen.
And here you are wearing all the hats of the producer, the sound, the DIT, and it's right. This, folks, this is why we have one person doing one job during the movie. It's a little bit more efficient. It costs more, but sometimes it's more efficient.
It's definitely the better way to go. Sometimes you have to do things because of cost. We always try and put more on our shoulders as opposed to everybody else's shoulders. We figure it's only fair since it's our movie.
Makes sense.
But sometimes it is what you got to do, and so when that happens, crazy things happen on set.
Now we are at the point that the movie is going to have its world premiere. It's coming up this next week at the Utah Film Festival. What are your feelings right now? What's your inner gut saying right now?
I don't know that I've really had much time to listen to it. We're in the middle of preparation, getting ready for the premiere, and we just got the QC report back from our distributors. So I'm in the middle of making all the technical adjustments to the film. I love premieres, I guess, is really what it comes down to. So what's my gut telling me? It's going to be fun, regardless of what happens. I have no idea if we're going to have 5 people there or 500. I'm guessing the theater doesn't hold 500, so maybe
We'll fit them in. We'll fit them in. It's standing room only. That'll be the way you go.
And I hope we're able to fill the theater. But I have no idea what's going to happen. But I'm just excited for it because we're gonna. Premieres are always fun. Of a mini reunion, you get to see all of your friends from the film that are able to make it. Unfortunately, there are some people that won't be able to make it on this one, but you also get to see all of your other film friends that are coming to the premiere that didn't get to work on it with you, and so it's like a little mini family reunion. That's always exciting and always good.
I love it. Guys, come take a look at Masquerade Mix-Up. It's playing at the Utah International Film Festival. The link is in the video somewhere. It's probably in the description bag, so you can just tag it and go get your tickets right now. Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you.